Are you frustrated because you're finding that your contributions in the workplace are getting overlooked? If so, watch this video where I will be sharing helpful tips for you to be able to market yourself in the workplace. Hi, I'm Dr. Patricia Thompson. I'm a corporate psychologist and executive coach. And if this is your first time on my channel, then welcome. My videos will basically be a variety of tips, tricks, and techniques that will help you to be more effective in the workplace. So if that sounds good to you, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified when I post new content. You can find me also on my website at silverliningpsychology.com, and there I've got a variety of blog posts. You'll also find the services that I offer in an organizational psychology capacity, and you can, I guess, learn more about me. Okay, so let's get into this topic of marketing yourself appropriately at work. And this is a really important one because I often work with clients who have the belief that if they just do their work, put their nose down, and are really hardworking, people will notice. And often what they can find is that they can be frustrated because maybe others aren't necessarily noticing the full contribution that they're making. And so they might see other people, getting ahead in the workplace, and they feel like they're still working hard, doing everything that's good, but not getting noticed. And so the first thing that I want to say is, of course, you've got to keep doing your quality work that you're doing. That's foundational for having a good reputation in the workplace. But sometimes just doing that isn't enough. People have so much going on that they might not know what you're doing. And, it might be only your boss, but beyond that, might not be others who know it. And so that's why it's really important to think about how you can demonstrate your value beyond just the work that you're doing day to day to really, in a sense, market yourself. And so my first recommendation in terms of marketing yourself would be to keep track of your wins. And, actually have a file where you keep track of the different things that you've done that are good, your different contributions, your different successes. And the reason for this is, number one, it just feels good to look through it, especially on a bad day. If things aren't going well, you can go back and see, wow, I've accomplished all of this stuff this year. Also, in the context of a performance review, it can be really helpful to be able to have that information that you can look back on where you're building the case in terms of how you've been performing. And then thirdly, just in your regular meetings with your boss or with other senior leaders in your organization, if they ask how things are going or, what's been going on in your world, you'll be able to pepper in those different accomplishments that you've had. And I say pepper, and you don't want to brag because that can come across the wrong way. But, just in passing, talk about the different wins that you've had. That can be a way for people to know, what you've been doing and what you've been accomplishing in the workplace. So tip number one, keep a list of those sorts of things. And that also is really helpful too, if you're wanting to update your resume across time, you'll be able to continue to add those accomplishments as needed. My next suggestion would be to practice getting good at telling stories. So the reason why I say this is because when we hear a story in a narrative form, we tend to remember it better, and it's good for being able to, again, market yourself. So if you think of typical marketing, that typically there is a story. There's, the problem, the challenge, the solution, and it's connected in some sort of narrative form to make it more compelling. And in that way, you better appreciate the solution that came to the fore based on this problem that came up initially. And so if someone asks, again, how you're doing, and you say, oh, everything's great. Okay, I suppose that could be true. And that might seem like a way of marketing yourself, but you'll make a stronger case if you can build a story. So for example, Well, actually, I'm really proud of this thing that we were able to accomplish. It was challenging at first because of XYZ, but we were able to do blah, blah, blah. And then the outcome was this. So we're super excited about that. And you can see just giving a little bit more detail does a better job of marketing what you did. You'll notice that I also used we in there. I wouldn't suggest using we all the time, but I wouldn't suggest using I all the time either. If you can have a combination of looking like a team player, but also being able to demonstrate your own unique role that you played at an initiative, that can be a really effective way of selling yourself. My third tip would be to try to get involved in cross-functional projects within your organization. Sometimes it can be really valuable, like to demonstrate your value through what you're able to accomplish. And while I said that you shouldn't just be nose down on your own, doing your work and not sharing it with others, the thing is that when you get involved in cross-functional initiatives, more people throughout the organization will be able to know that you exist. They'll be able to have worked alongside you. You'll have been able to develop those relationships. And they'll also have more people who, when they ask about, someone who is, a rising star or whatever, if you've been doing good work and they've seen you, they'll be more prone to think of you. So, to the extent that you can find opportunities to establish relationships beyond just your particular area within an organization, that will give you more opportunities to market yourself. And then, of course, do good work, be a good person, be a good team player. All those sorts of things will help to expand your personal brand throughout your organization. Something else that you'll want to do in terms of marketing yourself is be really thoughtful about how you're showing up in the workplace. So, the concept of a personal brand, you may or may not like that idea. I just like the idea of thinking about how you show up or how other people will think of you within the workplace. And so if you're someone who tends to go to meetings, for example, and you don't contribute a lot, then even if you have a lot of good ideas and that's your own internal experience, externally people might not have, a strong of an opinion of you, or they might not know all the value that you could be contributing because you're not speaking up. And so I encourage you to really be thoughtful about how you would like to show up and how you want others to think of you, and then make sure that you're showing up that way. So speak up or share an idea or take some initiative, all those sorts of things that you would want to be seen as you need to demonstrate. So be really thoughtful about that and then come up with an action plan for how you can make sure that you're showing up that way. My last suggestion is to come up with some ways that you can position yourself as an expert and then start applying any ideas that you're able to brainstorm. So for example, if your organization has internal trainings, perhaps you could offer to lead one on your area of expertise, and that would be a way to let others know that you know your stuff in that particular topic. Or if you're someone who likes to do public speaking, you could do that out in the community and find areas or community organizations where you could speak on your topic. And if you're in the sort of field where you're needing to bring in clients, that can also be a really good way to act as a brand ambassador and also to get your name out there. So just think about different things that you could do to establish credibility. Again, speaking up in meetings would be a good one, or if you have ideas and you're on an email thread, then instead of just scrolling past it, actually contribute to it. So again, people know that you're there. That can be really helpful. And I know I said that was my last tip, but as I was saying it, I thought of one additional thing. The last thing would be just to let your boss know that you're interested in wanting to market yourself in the organization. And so perhaps you can get some ideas from your leader in terms of how you might do that. They might have some suggestions about relationships that you should be cultivating, or things that you could be doing internally. Perhaps, if there are any sort of formal mentor programs in your organization, that's something that you could get involved in. So that could be something else to do as well. But always keep in mind, foundationally, the most important thing is to make sure that you're doing good quality work. And then beyond that, all the marketing is basically to let others know that you're doing that good quality work. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you got some tips that will help you to market yourself in the workplace. Again, my name is Dr. Patricia Thompson. You can find me at silverliningpsychology.com. You might want to check out some of my courses. I have some on emotional intelligence, leadership, building accountability, mindfulness for executives. There are a range there. You can check them out in the links below. And I'll see you in the next video.